All right, guys, we're live. This is Sheila and Maya Dunne with Convos, our very first episode. So let's see how this goes. We're really excited about today's topic. It's something that's really central to our lives that a lot of people have talked about, but I think we have a unique perspective to bring to this topic, which is why college is the best time to start a business.
We think this is a central topic in our lives, considering we both did this and I'm still in college, so the balance between it, some of the advantages, disadvantages, really how we went through it and some funny stories along the way. So we're just going to dive right into it, and hopefully you guys are here with us. First episode, grab a drink. Hey guys, this is Sheila and Maya Dunne, and you're listening to Convos. One of the most talked about reasons that college is a good time to start a business is definitely the aspect of college being a safety net in a lot of ways.
Yeah, totally. I think college is the ultimate safety net. There's going to be less of a loss if you fail. And also, there's just less stakes on it, so you don't have to be making money right away. My business actually started as completely a passion, was not expecting to really make, I wanted to get clients and make some money, but I was happy to take free work. I just loved what I was doing. Certainly was not trying to do it after I graduated. So anyways, you can have that mentality, find a passion, start a business around it, and you have much more time to get it off the ground. And you have a lot less pressure, fewer stakes on it to make money or pressure, which is really important, because when you do find that you can start a business that's around your passion, I feel like that's just the ultimate.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it more and just want to be doing it. And I think that's so awesome also to be able to do that in college, find your passion and then have. Obviously, things don't always work out the way you see them, and like you said, you didn't even think done good when you do after college. So you're just opening yourself up to so many more opportunities, so many more experiences, lessons. I think that goes to say for everyone at any stage in their life, try to play around with your passions. Like, what do you really love doing?
Right.
But yeah, it's a great time at college. Like Sheila said, you don't have that pressure on you to
make money right away.
Yeah. So on the topic of mistakes, I think that's just a fun one to kind of tell some stories about. Do you have one that always is in your head or you're always thinking about when you think of mistakes you've made in college?
In terms of mistakes, I've made my fair share of mistakes professionally and personally during college. But inevitably you're going to learn, unless you're studying to be an accountant, accounting is one of the things that you have to learn.
Teach
yourself. I certainly made a mistake. I was not tracking things correctly. I wasn't using QuickBooks for the longest time. I was using this really ridiculous Excel sheet. I actually took an accounting class in college, one of the great resources I had available to me, which helped me in some regards. But so that's one example, is kind of making that mistake. It really, when it came down to do taxes, which that's another mistake I made, it was A, a nightmare, and B, we actually got fined. So we filed an extension, but we were late on the filing of the extension. So that's an easily avoidable mistake. But making these mistakes in college, so we had to pay, $500, so not the end of the world, but $500 when I don't have any expenses, it's completely, if you are stretched for money, supporting your family and paying your mortgage or rent or whatever,
it's a lot.
It's just, any expenses is going to be a little harder than if you're in college. You don't have as many responsibilities. There's just a lot of mistakes that can be learned at a young age that I think will aid you in whatever future endeavors you go on.
Yeah, that story actually reminded me of one of our mentors. Just randomly was like, I sent him an email update on Ballet Cellar, and I said, we're looking for an accounting software, or whatever the situation was, and he emailed me, it's one thing to be a college student starting a company and forget about taxes or do something wrong. It's another thing to be working on this full time and mess up as badly as, like, you guys are not doing it right. So it's like, all right, I'll get on it. That's a good point. It was good also to just hear that and kind of bring you to real life, you know.
Another thing, just
broaching.
even in terms of emails, I've learned I'm such a better communicator. It's so funny looking back at my first emails trying to get clients. I'm
so
like,
funny.
hi, so-and-so.
Exclamation point, exclamation point.
Thank you so much for your time today, which is, thank you for your time. But then I'm like, it was such a pleasure to meet you. I would love to, whatever. It's just like overword, and it can and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just funny the way you just evolve as a communicator, and that's another small example.
Yeah, and I actually, on that note, I've been training some students that I am graduating with, and just seeing the professional sort of experience that I've gained throughout my course of the last 4 years that I was pretty proud of. I actually can teach you guys, and I think I can just point out 16, it's emails aren't even, they're not going to make or break you, but just noticing those professional ways to write and how to format an email. It was really, good experience.
But even the bigger mistakes, right? Hiring the wrong person, certainly you've done that, or
spending way too much on something that you just didn't need to spend that much.
Wasting other resources, for sure.
Because we don't really have a tech co-founder, and now that we're completely a software company, we've made thousands, I would almost say, of mistakes. Because, we don't have that expertise in computer science or in coding, so just how do you manage a team that's going to do that? You don't want to get taken advantage of. They're just going to take your money and run. I know Ryan has so many examples of hiring coders while he was in college to do projects for them, paying them, and then they just ghost him, basically. Yeah, you just spend the money, you give them an idea, they build you software, and then they just to go sell it. That's a pretty shitty mistake to make. Yeah.
So all this goes to say is, starting as early as possible, you're going to learn a lot along the way. And we said, even if you fail, the risk-reward trade-off isn't like most circumstances.
Right.
Usually it's a high risk, high reward. Kind of reminds me of our father, serial entrepreneur, and started a business, one of his businesses, when we had...
he had 4 kids and just moved, and
all
6 kids, Yeah, but with that being said, also, props to anyone and everyone who's gonna hustle that much to, make it work with 6 babies and moving. It's exactly. I think also what's interesting that I've noticed in college from classmates or peers or other students is that I hear everyone just saying, I don't have any time. Or especially, everyone does different things throughout their college, and maybe they're working a job and going to school and an athlete or something, and then there definitely is a limited hours to your day. But I think college is one of the times when you actually have the most free time, and you have so many decisions on your plate about where to
spend
exactly. And I think that's probably one of the biggest hurdles to making what we're talking about efficient, is consciously making that decision that I'm going to commit time to my business. And that's how you can really use these strategies as advantages to get a head start on 99% of the people you're attending school with. Even if you do completely fail, it's never going to be a con, in my opinion, basically ever.
Yeah, so it's really the ideal setting in terms of being able to make mistakes while you're early and learn from them. There's really no other atmosphere where you have all these people wanting to help you and push you up, and if you do fail, there is really no risk. If you fail in college on a business venture, you walk away with a learning experience, you walk away with a resume builder,
exactly.
And you walk away with a lot of connections made and just a lot of lessons learned.
And that leads, I think, well into one of my other points that college is so useful is because of those free and available resources surrounding you. So, if you invest a lot into a company and put your money into it and have to pay and have all these different expenses, you can there's so much in college campuses, college communities that they put out there for you to use. So your loss is most likely going to be a lot smaller if it is a monetary number that you're putting on it. A huge hesitation that I hear from people in college who have maybe ideas of starting a company or just the thought crossed their mind, which is probably everyone, but one of the biggest hesitations or concerns is that they don't have money to start it, or that they just, how am I supposed to start a company? I don't have anything to go off of. Yeah. And one thing that I think people are forgetting or not really utilizing to their best advantage is the sheer number of free, amazing resources that are all over campuses. And you don't even have to be talking about a private liberal arts, small, tiny campus with your extra cool equipment. Anywhere, I feel like state schools, community colleges, even online schools give you resources. So it's really everywhere. And just taking advantage of every single one in some way.
We definitely, I think, utilized the resources available in our college
as much as physically possible. Maybe overboard.
But it's very true. There's really a university campus in their towns. They're designed to support the student. So really whatever you need in an academic way, however that ties into your business. So free Wi-Fi, free office space, or the library, whatever there is, but there's going to be a nice space for you to work for free. Printers, equipment. So we're a digital marketing agency and we offer visual content creation. And so we had our own, actually I shot my very first, the client paid me $500 and I rented camera gear to start off with and audio equipment, like the first year I was starting.
Yeah, and there's also, I think, some stat on college startup incubators or accelerators.
Yeah, 40% of
something like that,
have some sort of program that's for fostering an entrepreneurial community.
Yeah, and I know a lot of them, like even the one we were a huge part of, was open to the town as well. So you didn't even have to go to the universities. If your own school doesn't offer it, look for schools in your area that might, or just anything you can join to have that sort of added support and opportunity and resources.
Yeah.
But I can think of so many examples. Just even grants that the school offered. Yeah. Both of us were fortunate enough to win the Entrepreneur Fund at our school, which was $10 to $15K depending on the year, which is a huge help to start, especially to start a company. Yeah. They also provide you with amazing mentors, people that you can get into contact with if you need.
Housing for the summer.
Yeah, financial, legal advice, basically any connection you can make. Well, we can talk about that later, but
so we took advantage of that. There's also there's the New York State business plan competition,
pitch competition or something,
which another student I was friends with actually won.
Yeah.
There's Emerge, which is a conference in New York City. I actually went down there 2 years, but there's just so many opportunities where you as a young entrepreneur can make yourself known and get funded.
Yeah.
You also, tons and tons of really amazing, successful companies come out of college, that's obvious. But you're competing against, there's a smaller pool of college entrepreneurs than just non-college entrepreneurs, because it's a small time frame in your life. The competition is
smaller.
Not necessarily
on quality, but quantity.
Quantity, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely a good point. Really, if you look hard enough, you can definitely find something. Even if you don't look hard at all, if you look bare minimum level, but if you keep digging, there's so many just you can do it all even sitting on your computer a lot of times, probably especially now, but.
There's the West Virginia you're telling me.
Yeah. I get these emails because my co-founder goes to West Virginia and they're like, pitch competition, win $2,000, but it's, I swear, every single month or even more frequent. So you could just continuously go. Start 6 different businesses with different pitches.
Yeah, they don't have to be, they're just ideas, right?
Yeah. Just have an idea you're interested in, come pitch, and the winners, whatever. We actually, at the school, at Colgate, we had a entrepreneurship group that had a weekend at the end, so everyone had the opportunity to set up a stand and pitch your business, and they had a lot of really noteworthy people attend. I remember, I don't think I was a student yet, but the year before I went there, I remember watching this girl give her pitch and winning, and she was on the verge of tears. I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's the position I want to be in.
So our school, we would do a mini Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And they'd bring notable alum or just
connections,
celeb judges.
yeah. One of the resources we probably used the most was this co-working office space that the entrepreneurship program at our school had. And it was basically, I would say a very small portion of this college knew even what TIA was.
The best hidden secret on campus.
Yeah.
It was an incubator / co-working space.
And it was just a super resourceful building. You had your printer right there. You didn't have to walk to. It was just amazing. They had a kitchen, usually a pretty well-stocked fridge.
Oh, always stocked.
They had their phone booth, the whole back
conference room. But it was honestly 0 people occupied the
ever.
space.
Yeah.
95% of the time.
Yeah. So Sheila and I would be there daily.
9 to 9.
Yeah, basically daily 9 to 9, except for at our classes, whenever we had them. And yeah, I feel like eventually it was just the Dunne's co-working space. It wasn't even.
Over the years, people started to know.
Yeah, we brought too many friends.
Yeah. But
yeah.
It was good. So it was our brothers used to work at the NYU classrooms. Even after they graduated.
Still, when I'm back home in Rochester, I'll go to the RIT classrooms or the U of R classrooms, like just for a nice place to work, because they're so nice. They're great places to work. Another huge, like with the entrepreneur weekend at Colgate, we touched on briefly in this talk already, but is really just the position you're in to get introductions is just something you'll never have again in your life, really. Yeah. It's all the alumni, any connection they can bring you to, and then if you do have the chance to be in a program like we were, just their entire network of connections and introductions that you can have.
Yeah, so part of the last kind of core reason that we talked about in terms of why college is such a great place and time to start your business is because few people turn down a college student if they word it correctly and have a compelling story. You know?
Yeah.
If you send a LinkedIn message as a college student to an alumni or just someone who has, maybe a few connections out or something, the chances you get a response versus the second you graduate, you're just one of us.
Yeah, and the alumni network will
always
be there, but I think even just saying, hi, I'm a student at Colgate University, I just started a company in your field, I was wondering if you'd possibly spend 15 minutes on a phone call with me. Saying it like that, people are so much more apt to give you the time of day to have a conversation. Whether it's, alumni is... Clearly, I don't think anyone intentionally turns you down because they might not see it or they're too busy or their assistant, whatever. But even you have a better, I think from my experience, you have a much higher percentage with a random person.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
Yeah.
They could never have heard of your school,
have no care.
But if you word it, so I used it to my advantage when I was setting business meetings. I would say, I'd just love to get your perspective on what we offer. In college, I'm looking to grow my business and just gain as much information as possible.
Yeah, introductions are 100% huge part of college. Whether you're starting a company or not, while you're in college, you should just reach out to every single person you can. Like, if you have no interest in starting a company ever in your life, you just want to go into finance or be a lawyer, a doctor, whatever the case is, it's just a great time. People will be a lot more receptive to you. People will be more interested in what you have to say, and you'll just have a much better experience with it probably than trying to network way later in life and not really have that community that college gives you.
Yeah. There's two sides. There's definitely you get in the door more, like I would say more than once you graduate in certain circumstances. But on the flip side, there is a lot of hardships you have to face when you start a business in college. Time management. I mean, the fact that you can't devote
100%.
Exactly.
Especially when it turns into your passion, something that is actually bringing you the most joy. I think it makes it harder to balance. You need to also get that degree and do well in your classes and devote time to that. But then you're like, oh, all I want to be doing is this company I started. It's my baby, the whole thing. And then of course your social life too. I don't know, you have a lot of pressures on you from all aspects of the spectrum, and like how should you spend your time?
If you are in a fraternity or sorority, there's a lot of pressure to go to all the events,
Definitely more so.
And so it's easy to get caught up in that, I think.
And it's easy to just want that. I mean, it's perfectly fine to just, not even just, it's perfectly fine to go to school, to get a good GPA, and to go on to grad school or to go into your job and to have fun along the way. Like sometimes, because I graduated high school at 16 and I'm going to be graduating college only being 5 semesters on campus. And I definitely feel like I had my fair share of parties or the whole kind of college experience. But I do find myself sometimes being like, there's a lot of, even because it's important, not only just business connections, but it's important to make friendships in college. That's another thing where college is the only time you really are like forced and so vulnerable into these friends. So it's really just, we've been talking about prioritize what you value in your life and then balancing your time off of that. And if you prioritize school, just do that. And if you prioritize the experience, that's another thing. But from our opinion, I think there's just a lot of overlooked and hesitation on starting a business, but it's actually doable and still able to maintain the other aspects. Would you have, I don't even know, like advice on that, or?
I do feel like if you want something, you're going to make it work. And for me, it was fun. It was challenging. It was all of these amazing things. It was sort of complementing what I was learning in the classroom too. But there are sacrifices you'll have to make. So if you don't find it, if it's not something that makes you wake up in the morning
and crave almost,
then maybe it's not for you.
But that's one of the things I always, because you definitely work more face-to-face client, like more client-facing physically than I do. But I always wonder, like, do you feel out of place? Because everyone you're surrounding yourself with, whatever, 35 or older usually.
Really funny question, because I use it to my advantage when I want to, and I hide it when I
No, it might not be.
There's countless stories I have.
Because it's one you don't just tell to people randomly.
It's not a defining thing, but when they want to know, they should know.
I mean, and it is definitely can be in some people, in some biased minds, it can be something that's like, you're not 20? No way am I doing business with you. Are you kidding me? Like, you're a baby. You don't know anything about life, which is true in a lot of ways, but also not true in some. So just to sum it up, there's going to be a lot of hardships. There's going to be a lot of concerns you have, things that get in your way. There might always be a reason to say no, but when it comes down to it, if you're debating whether or not to do it, just do
it. Just get it done.
And if you don't want to take that full leap and commit to putting money into a web, the whole thing, then I would definitely say do something and try to really keep up with an internal or a self goal for learning new skills or trying something new, challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, so much for watching. We're going to be releasing episodes weekly, and we're trying to hit the bar, so we're going to peace out. Be sure to like, subscribe, all the other things, all the social medias.
Comment, share, retweet.
Copy, paste link. Isn't that the TikTok thing? Just full send it. Get it done. Get it done. Get us some likes, guys.
Hope you guys enjoyed.